on the inner reflective surface of the higher mind mirror.
I couldn't have said it better. Yes, I agree. With the UFO experience I had just recently, and with a lot of the interesting experiences that are happening lately,
yes.
I was wondering, and this question has been asked in the past by other people, but if there was a specific extraterrestrial group that my family was linked to, because my father has also mentioned many times his close encounters.
Yes. You are connected to the Ayel.
The Ayel?
The Ayel are the group, the hybrid group, similar to our own, but somewhat different, who will be the first group to actually make open contact with your planet, most likely between the year of 2025 and 2033.
Okay, very well. And then this other question's a bit eccentric, but I was wondering,
bit eccentric?
Yes.
Because talking to an alien through a human is not eccentric enough.
Okay, well this will fit right in.
All right.
So psychology is a huge fascination for me, and as much as I've dug into it passionately, one thing that I haven't found any clear-cut answers, but was really curious about your take is, why do they exist, and what is the purpose of sexual fetishes?
Sexual fetishes?
Yes.
Well, there can be as many reasons for them as there are people. You have to examine it on a case-by-case basis. There isn't just a general overall view that is common to everyone. And if you're actually using the word fetish in the way that most people on your planet define that word, it can be representative of imbalance as well as balance. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you have to take it on a person-by-person basis and examine the context of the experience.
Could they possibly be a manifestation due to, let's say, maybe like a certain lesson or a certain process to be gained?
Yes.
That's planned before life? Before
yes, it can be.
Okay.
So really what you're saying is it depends on how you approach it, what you do with it, how you use it, if you learn from it in a positive way. Yes?
Yes.
So that's up to you, and have the discernment to be able to tell the difference between when you are utilizing something from your true excitement or actually gravitating to it from your anxiety. Very often, that's the key to the experience. Learn to tell the difference between your excitement and your anxiety, which comes from your fear-based beliefs. Sometimes things like that can point out to you, can put you in touch with the idea of things that might be out of alignment with your true self so that you can get back into alignment. That's not always the case. We're not saying that. But again, you have to take it in context, and you have to take it on a person-by-person basis.
I see. And then my last bit was, so I might have mentioned before, but Ed Leedskin, or the one that invented or
Ed Leedskalnin.
Leedskalnin, yes. I was wondering.
Coral Castle.
Coral Castle.
Yeah.
He did use the technology that the Egyptians used, supposedly.
The early Egyptians, yes. Not the later ones, but the early ones. He had two conical devices that, when vibrated at a certain frequency, caused vibrations to cross and harmonize, and in the harmonization zone, in the harmonic zone that those two cones facing toward each other at a certain distance would produce, there was created a vibrational zone of gravitational neutrality.
I see. So that technology could be replicated.
Oh, absolutely.
Today, for sure, okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Bashar, thank you so much for your time and help. Much love.
Unconditional love to you.
This is exciting to meet you.
All right, good day to you. One moment, if you please. There is a momentary preparation taking place for the entity that will be coming through later on. The first anchor point has been established. Do proceed. Good day to you.
Good day to you, too.
Did I startle you?
Yes.
Good. Speak up and be bold.
Okay, so as a... Pretty much my whole life I felt like, I know everyone's different, but I felt like around the people that I've been around, I've always felt so alienated and different.
Was that a pun?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alienated?
Yeah, it actually was, yeah.
All right. Yes, well,
Yeah,
many
so-
people have an earlier recognition of connections that they have to other planes of existence. You all have them. Not everyone needs to know they have them, but many of you have decided that it's important for you to be who you prefer to be by knowing that you have these connections to other simultaneous existences in other civilizations, in other dimensions, and other domains. If you realize that you have these connections earlier in life, then you may feel a little bit out of touch, a little alienated from the rest of society who may not be choosing to experience an awareness of those connections. But this is becoming now, as you say, par for the course. The room is full of alienated people. Yes?
Yeah, I feel kind of normal.
So
here.
you are among friends.
So another question.
Did that
relating
help
to
you?
that- Yeah, that did.
Oh, all right.
Is like why, as a child, I experienced paranormal things like hearing my name being called, and even recently I've
Didn't
heard
I just
whispers.
explain that?
Yeah, I guess you're.
If you have the willingness and have laid out for yourself the need to expand your senses and be aware of what's around you more than the average of your society might, you're going to be able to perceive things with your senses that might be inaudible or invisible to other people around you more readily than they do. It's the natural result of you coming in at a higher vibratory rate that is already willing to accept the idea that these other realms actually exist for real, and that you start to blend them into your reality, accept them into your reality as the nature of reality, instead of being so highly focused and exclusive and segregative to those things. So you just have a broader point of view that allows you to take in and perceive more things that exist around you than the average person may have at the time you were growing up. Yes?
Okay.
Does that explain it more clearly?
Yeah, that explains it.
All right. Anything else you want to explore about this idea?
Yes, just what you were saying to my brother, just barely how they're like the Yael or something.
Yael.
Am I
We call them in our
that?
ancient language the Shalanaya, but they call themselves the Yael. It means the first ones.
Okay, am I also related to that as well? Because we're all, I don't know.
Yes,
have
yes,
the
yes.
same feeling.
These things often run in family lines.
Okay, and my last question is,
Your last question ever?
well, no.
Oh, all right.
Well, it's actually kind of two questions.
Oh, well, see? It wasn't your last question at all.
I wanted to know, why is it that I have so many things I want to do, and it just frustrates me to the point where I don't do anything? And why is it that when my brother and I were in the Philippines, he said he saw a UFO the same day that I channeled for the first time? And I want to know, why is it that I channeled that time, and why is it that it only comes sometimes, and how do I hone that?
Thank you very much. The idea of your frustration, again, is because you're not actually going with the flow of how things naturally happen in your life. You're not trusting your life to unfold in a natural way. You think you have to be doing things and making things happen in a certain way, and so you're frustrated when they don't. Do you understand?
Yes.
And that prevents you from actually acting naturally on your highest joy. It's not about the idea of being confused between different excitements. It's simply the idea of recognizing that your overall excitement might come in different expressions. And it's all right to follow the thread of that excitement, even though it may wind through different expressions. It's still representative of an overall umbrella excitement that can have expression in many forms. But the idea is to keep it simple. At any given moment, at every given moment, you have a number of things that are available to you that you could take action on. It can be very simple. You could be reading a book, you could be having lunch with a friend, you could be taking a walk on the beach, you could be seeing a movie, you could be riding a bike, you could be flying a kite. Doesn't matter. Out of all the options available to you at any given moment, just choose the one that seems to have, at that moment, the most excitement in it, that you have the greatest ability to take action on. And take action on it with absolutely no insistence, no assumption as to what the outcome should look like, or whether the thing you're actually acting on should come to fruition in any particular way. If you just keep doing that, Every single time the energy changes, the excitement changes, or it comes in a different form, and you act on it to the best of your ability with no insistence on the outcome, you'll be using the formula correctly, and you will allow excitement to function as the complete kit that it is. Now, we will be getting into this a little bit more in tomorrow night's transmission, but nevertheless, the complete kit of excitement simply is that excitement is the driving engine of your life, the organizing principle of your life, the path of least resistance in your life, the thread that leads to all other expressions of excitement in your life, and it is also the reflective mirror that reveals to you whatever within you is out of alignment with your excitement so that you can identify it and bring it back into alignment with your excitement. And all you need to do to activate excitement as the complete kit is to follow the formula of acting to the best of your ability in the thing that excites you the most every moment that you can, with no insistence on what the outcome ought to be. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Is this making it seem a little bit simpler to you?
Yes.
Excitement is telling you that things are connected. It's not the surface appearance that tells you they're connected. It's the excitement they contain that tells you that they are. So even though one thing may look like it has absolutely nothing at all to do with the thing you were doing a moment ago, if it contains the highest excitement you can find at that moment, the excitement is telling you it is connected, and if you act on it, you will be led to the right place at the right time, interacting with exactly who you need to interact with, hearing what you need to hear, learning what you need to learn, to get you to the place, to expand you in a way that will allow you more facility and more capability to act on all other expressions of excitement that will then also present themselves to you as opportunities in your life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What I'm describing is just physics. That's all it is. This isn't mysterious. It's just physics. What you put out is what you get back. So by acting on your highest excitement, you are aligning with the true vibration of your natural self. It's pointing you along the alignment path like a compass needle pointing to your true magnetic north. And if you just keep following it, you will wind up exactly where you need to wind up, exactly when you need to wind up there. That's how it works. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping you?
Yes.
Do you feel a little more relaxed?
Yes.
Anything else?
Yeah.
The UFO.
About my
And your channeling.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are interconnected with each other in a variety of ways, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So sometimes what might be happening to one person will express itself in a different way through another person that is connected, yes? You're on a similar wavelength. This is what telepathy, or perhaps more precisely, telempathy, actually is. You're not reading each other's minds, you're on a similar wavelength and having similar experiences and similar thoughts at the same time. That's why people who are in love often know what each other is thinking, finish each other's sentences, because they're on a similar wavelength and they're having the same ideas at the same time. They're not literally reading each other's minds. They're reading their own mind that happens to be similar to the mind of the other they are in harmony with. That's how it works. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But you will express the connection in your way, others will express it in a different way. So even though he may have had that experience, you tapped into it in a way that is germane to your particular path, and the idea of channeling is just being in a state of being yourself more fully and allowing to come through you more fully what it is that is representative of you. It doesn't matter whether it's connected to another entity or not. The first stage of any channeling involves more of yourself, because if it doesn't involve more of your own self, more of your higher mind, more of the collective spirit and soul that you are, you're not capable of making a connection to anything else on another level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So just be more of yourself. Are you artistically expressive in some way?
Yes.
How?
I like to do fashion or drawing or poems.
Are you doing as much of that as you would love to do?
No.
Why not?
I feel it's not important enough.
What excites you the most is not important enough.
I feel like it doesn't contribute to society.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why do you think you exist? Why do you think it excites you?
Well, I feel like I should
Is
share
that just a puzzle and a mystery to you?
No, I feel like I should share it. I just don't know how.
What do you mean you don't know how?
I just don't know how to
You said you know how to draw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to show that to people or reach out to people. I'm very...
Well, then what's wrong with your imagination?
I guess I'm afraid like other people won't like it.
So what? Who cares? The ones that don't like it, it's not for them anyway. It's only for the ones that will like it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not everyone is going to resonate to what you have to create, but it doesn't matter. What you're creating isn't for the ones who aren't attracted to it. It's for the ones who are. So who cares about the ones that aren't?
Yeah.
Is that too logical for you?
No, it makes sense.
Do you understand? You have no business measuring yourself against others. You have no business comparing yourself to other people. And what anyone else thinks of you is also none of your business. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's none of your business. Because that's not what your business is about. Your business is about being yourself as fully as you can. That's your purpose in life. And if you're not willing to be yourself, all the people that would be attracted to the gift you have to give are being deprived of your gift. Why would you do that to them? Why would you hold yourself back from people that are looking for you? Why would you be that stingy?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
You see, you think, in a sense, you're doing something humble. But you're being arrogant and hoarding your gift and keeping it away from people who might need to see it. Relax. You would not be where you are. You would not have the gift you have if there wasn't someone who needed to receive it. As we have often said, there are no one-sided coins. If you have the head, the tail has to be there or there's no coin. You have the head by saying you have the gift. The fact that you have something to give defines the reality that there must, by definition, be somebody in that reality who needs to receive it, or you wouldn't be excited about it. You'd be excited about something else. So don't hold back the gift that you are. Someone is waiting to receive it. Don't make them wait. Yes?
Yes.
And when you don't make them wait, you won't be waiting to be yourself. Channel more of yourself. Yes?
Yes.
Is this helping you?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Stop arguing with creation about your value. If you weren't valuable, you wouldn't exist. Stop arguing with creation. All right?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. We trust that you know you are applauding for yourselves.
That's fine. Good day, Bashar.
And you, good day.
My beautiful daughter, who could not join us today, asked me to ask you a few questions.
Oh, all right.
Her name is Cassidy.
If you insist.
She wants to know if she's been abducted.
How about we use the term shifted to a higher dimensional plane so she can interact with other beings?
I like that.
Yes, is the answer.
That's a good answer. Okay, she has a little opening in the roof of her mouth
Yes,
that she says gets activated when she tickles her cheek.
yes.
Her mother has seen it. I have not.
All right.
And she wants to know if that has anything to do with that.
Yes.
Okay.
It has to do with activating certain neurological impulses that are symbolic of what she will ultimately do in life. What is her age?
20.
What is she doing now?
She is an art student.
Of what sort?
She's a photographer, among many other things.
Is she drawn to a certain location on your planet more than any other?
I'm not sure.
Well, then you didn't come very prepared to talk about her, did you?
I did not.
This is not an admonishment. I'm just having some fun with you.
That's all right.
But this goes to show that sometimes asking questions on behalf of someone else won't necessarily get you very far if we can't interact with the person themselves.
Yes.
Nevertheless, she has something to say in some fashion, she has something to say. One moment. This may be revealed by the time she is 30. But find out where on your planet she seems most attracted to be.
Okay.
And from that point forward, you may find more information helping you understand the relationship that she has agreed to create with those other beings and what it is she has chosen to express in this transformational age on your planet.
Got it.
Anything else?
Yes. She wants to know if her bedroom is an energy vortex.
Well, only insofar as when certain connections are made, vortices are opened up in that locale, but by itself, not necessarily naturally, no.
And the last question is, she wants to know what holds the universe.
What holds it?
What contains it?
All that is contains it. Everything is within existence. Everything is subject to existence. Existence is subject to nothing. Everything is within existence. All that is. All that is. Does that make sense in your language?
It does.
Do you think you can allow it to make sense to her?
I think I can.
All right. Then thank you.
Thank you.
You understand that there are a multitude of universes, yes? The multiverse, other dimensions. All of it is within all that is. Proceed.
Hello, Bashar.
I know you, good day.
Do you ever laugh?
All the time.
Never
But you
heard
don't
you.
usually find us laughing through the channel, because if we laugh, we take ourselves to a different frequency that would probably pull us out of the connection. So we, in some senses, put a little bit of a dampener on ourselves to not break the connection, but we're laughing all the time.
Okay. So, question.
Yes.
So I'm one of these people, like everybody, want to
Speak up, speak up,
follow
speak up.
their passion,
Yes.
their excitement,
Yes.
and experience their higher excitement and spend as much possible time.
Yes.
But
But
when it comes to-
But
unfortunately, there's a but in my brain, my physical brain.
does that make you a butthead?
Exactly, with a
No,
big
all right.
B.
See, I told you we laugh all the time.
Maybe butterhead. So, so my physical brain is telling me, it's bringing me all these thoughts. For instance, today I wanted to leave my work and go home and do something that was my excitement that
Yes.
moment.
All right. And?
So if I have done it,
Yes.
I might got fired.
Well, all right, but that's all right if you believe that what excites you can support you. But if you have a belief system that says you still need to do things that aren't necessarily representative of your highest excitement, but you believe you need them in order to be supported in life, then it's important that you honor your belief system until such time as you actually know for a fact that your excitement can support you in a similar fashion or even better.
But how can I deal with my fear of insecurity?
What's your insecurity about?
That I won't have enough money to pay my expenses.
So what you are saying is you don't have a clear definition of excitement. Because by definition, excitement being, what did we say? A complete kit. Complete kit, leaving nothing out. Therefore, by definition, excitement would contain everything you need to continue to live an exciting life. But you may have very limiting definitions about what you think you need. Many people on your planet equate the idea of abundance, for example, only with money. But abundance can come in many forms. Abundance is simply
Absolutely.
the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Now, sometimes on your planet it might come in the form of money, but sometimes it could come in the form of a trade, sometimes it could come in the form of a gift. Who knows? It can come in many forms. So when you relax your definition about what you think support needs to look like, your reality and excitement, being a complete kit, can actually support you in the way you need to be supported, which may be different than the way you thought you needed to be supported, but if you trust the way your life unfolds and you trust your definition of excitement is aligned with you, you will be supported in the way you actually need to be supported to be allowed to continue to expand your excitement. So you need to remove the limitations that you've placed on your definitions about what excitement is capable of actually bringing you.
That's my point. How do I remove these limitations?
All right. You need to find out first what the actual definition is, what the limiting definition is. And really, if you have a fear, then all you need to do is use that emotion to trace back to what the definition is, because you can't have an emotion until you actually have a definition first. You can't have a feeling about anything until you have a definition. Would you like proof of that?
Yes.
All right. How do you feel about brontides? I don't know. What's a brontide?
Yeah.
You understand? You have no idea how to feel, yes? Mm-hmm. Now, when I say brontide in your language means distant thunder. Now you start feeling a little bit of attachment to that idea, a little bit of experiential emotionality connected to that.
Because I have a definition.
Because you have a definition. So what I'm saying is, if you have a feeling, then that means there must be a definition somewhere in your consciousness generating that feeling. So if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling anxiety and feeling uncertainty and what you call self-doubt, which is really just a 100% doubt in a negative definition, you can ask this question. What would I have to believe is true about myself in relation to this circumstance in order to feel the way I do? That's one way to ask the question. Another way to reveal the definition to you consciously is to ask it from the fear-based side, which sometimes actually works better for many of you because you're so used to the idea of the fear-based definition. And that would be, if I actually did move forward in the direction I prefer to, the direction that is aligned with my highest joy, what am I most terrified might actually happen? So one way or another, by asking the question from either direction, if you're actually willing to hear the answer, then in some fashion the answer will come. It may not come immediately, but it will come. It'll either come simply as an understanding or an inspiration in your head. It will come perhaps in your dreams. It will present itself to you in the synchronicities that pop up in your life. But if you're willing to hear the answer, somehow the answer will come. And once you find out consciously, once you identify consciously what that definition is that's out of alignment with your true joyful self, it will instantly appear illogical, nonsensical, and you will clearly understand that you simply bought into it from someone else. You might have picked it up from your parents, your school, your society, your friends, but it doesn't belong to you. You've been dragging along a belief that has nothing to do with you, and that's what's weighing you down and holding you back. The beliefs that are in alignment with you weigh nothing. Nothing at all. Anytime you feel that resistance, that drag, it means you're carrying around a belief that isn't yours.
Exactly.
So
when I find that belief, it will disappear?
Yes, because as soon as you identify it, it will appear nonsensical and illogical, and you simply won't hold on to something that doesn't make sense to hold on to. Now, if the behavior doesn't change after you let that belief go, once you discover what it is, then all that means is you may have found a secondary level belief, but you haven't found the fundamental one, the foundational one under that. You can let go of a lot of secondary beliefs, but when you find the true fundamental, foundational negative belief that's out of alignment and let that go, all the other secondary ones on top of that will collapse too.
That's where I'm at. Last question.
Guys.
Any way I can remember more of my dreams? Because I really don't remember any of them. Or not, most of them I don't remember.
Oh, you just remembered one, right?
Yeah, every now and then, maybe.
All right. Well, when you get up in the morning, do you jump out of bed and get on about your business? Or do you lie there for a moment?
Most of the times I just jump.
All right, stop jumping. Stay in bed. When you wake up, close your eyes again, take a deep breath, let yourself settle, and give yourself at least 60 seconds to just lie there and just drift. More of your dream memories will come back. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right?
Eventually, that will happen eventually. More of the dreams will start
It may happen right away, but you have to give yourself time to let them sink in because you're shifting your reality so abruptly that you don't let yourself have time for them to sink in.
Makes sense.
You understand?
Yep.
All right, well then pleasant dreams to you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Always. And to you, good day. I think you can believe it. Otherwise, you would be somewhere else.
Past lives.
Which are actually simultaneously coexisting lives, because everything exists at once. But you can create the idea, you can create the perspective, you can create the experience as if they actually were in the past, but they're not. They all exist right now. They're all going on right now. Those are other people that you are cross-connecting to from this life to their lives going on at the same time in different frequencies, in order to draw from them information that you believe is necessary for you to experience the you are here, while they're doing the same by cross-connecting to you and other lives to draw on the experiences they believe are germane and relevant for their experiences. But it's all going on at the same time, much in the same way that when you're watching one TV program, you know there are hundreds of other programs happening at once, but you don't see them because they're on their different frequencies. Does this make sense?
Yeah, does that mean that there's another one of me somewhere?
That's another type of parallel reality, yes. There are an infinite number of versions of you doing similar or very different things on an infinite number of parallel Earths, as well as there are an infinite number of versions of other realities where you look nothing like this at all, in a reality that has nothing to do with what you experience on Earth, and everything in between.
How many other worlds are there?
In what sense do you mean that? Because you could be talking about physical planets within one universe, you could be talking about physical planets within a multiverse, you could be talking about a number of different planes of existence or dimensions of reality when you use the word worlds.
I see.
What do you mean by worlds?
Oh, I was just, like, you can go to another world, I just wondered.
Planet?
Planets, yeah.
All right. Well, we are aware of a certain number of them, but that doesn't mean that's all there are.
Okay.
In our particular interstellar alliance, there are 557 worlds.
Wow.
But there are other interstellar alliances we are also aware of that are composed also of gatherings of more or less planets. We are aware overall of about 11,678 worlds currently. Oh, 79. We're always making new contacts.
I wondered,
80,
is it,
81, 85, 94, 112 more, because there are many different civilizations expanding out, having connections in a variety of ways, many other different civilizations, all going on simultaneously.
another question, is it true you pick, like, your mates or who you're gonna marry, or
Generally speaking, yes.
your kids ahead of time?
Generally speaking, yes. From a linear perspective, you make these kinds of agreements as part of the template of what you will experience in the theme you are exploring in this life. Yes, from the linear perspective, that's how it would seem, yes.
I've always been interested in, like, UFOs and entities and stuff. Is there a reason that I've always been curious about that?
Well, as we talked about before, many of you have at least an inkling of awareness that you're connected to other things, that there's more going on in your world than you have been taught to believe, that there is, in that sense, something happening, a transformation happening that's going to bring you more and more and more in touch with other things you have been told don't exist, but you're finding out they do, such as having this conversation with us. So, of course, that inkling grows into more and more awareness if you keep acting in the direction of your highest joy. Yes?
Yes. I've
Yeah,
had a back injury for about 30 years, so
Oh, all right.
I take a lot of narcotics. I wonder if that would block.
Well, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
What does the back injury prevent you from doing?
Not sitting very long, not standing very long. I have to lay down a lot.
Let's take that question to a higher level. What does it prevent you from doing in life? Does it hold you back?
Yeah. In those
What would you
ways.
rather be doing if you didn't have the injury? If you could do anything,
Well,
what would you be doing that you're not doing now?
actually, all this stuff, all the spiritual things I'm into is so interesting to me, so I research all the time. And it's so
Research is
exciting.
fine, but what actions would you be taking if you could take them?
More physical things,
Such as?
more sports with my daughter.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling you to go out and injure yourself. At the same time, certainly you can examine within yourself what you might be afraid of by being more physically active. And allow yourself to start diving into the things that may be going on in your belief system that are continuing to perpetuate that rigidity in your spine that can actually be taught to relax so that you can be more physically active in a number of ways.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But you need to have a deep and honest self-investigation as to what it is that truly, as a belief, may be holding you back from being who you truly prefer to be.
Okay.
Examine your fears. They will reveal everything you need to know. And as you examine them and let them go, you will feel the muscles relaxing. You will feel the tension dissolving. And you will attract yourself to whatever will actually be of physical assistance to you, to help you further accelerate in your relaxation and letting go. And then one day, and you can do this relatively quickly, it's up to you. One day you may find suddenly you're capable of doing something you haven't been able to do. But you must start with finding out what fear-based definitions within your consciousness are holding you back from being who you prefer to be. Start there and attract what you need, both physically, emotionally, and mentally, and spiritually, to help begin to relax and release you. Do not fear what you will find. Nothing you will ever find about yourself that is negative will ever actually be a fact. It will only be a belief.
Awesome.
Do you
That's
understand?
great. Yes, totally.
Do you feel a little bit more relaxed right
do.
now?
I
All
really
right.
do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One last thing.
Yes!
The rings of Saturn.
Yes.
Is there something making those rings?
Something making them?
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Yes.
Like-
Gravitational fields, ice particles, rocks, yes. What do you mean?
There was a book about it, EMVs, a book by Norman Bergen. I
You're
think
talking
it is.
about, again, electromagnetic phenomenology?
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's involved too.
Are they creatures or are they?
Creatures?
Yeah.
No.
That are making these? No.
No.
Okay.
It's a natural phenomenology.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, let us elaborate. We're not saying that consciousness is not associated with all planets, but it's on a very different level. It's not in the way that you actually meant it physiologically. Just to clarify. Proceed.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
Good day to you. I have a question regarding the Japan.
Yes.
Right now, it's 3 years ago.
Yes.
The Fukushima
Yes.
nuclear plant,
Yes.
yeah, exploded.
Yes.
And how serious is the radiation?
More than they're letting on. 3 times more than they're telling you.
Oh, that you mean the government?
Yes.
So
It is 3 times higher than they're telling you. Because they don't want you to panic. Nevertheless, there is still something that you can all do about it. We've talked about this before.
yes.
If that's not sufficient to turn you in the direction of non-polluting energies, I don't know what is. But if that's not sufficient, believe me, you'll create something that is. So best to do it now before you have another accident.
So that means, is there going to be another accident?
Eventually, if you don't get the point, because you're doing this to yourselves. If you're refusing to go in the direction of what would actually be most beneficial, then you will keep running up against a wall and keep forcing yourself to have traumatic and tragic incidents until you finally come to terms with the fact that you don't have to be doing things in the way that you're doing them. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. You don't have to do it that way, though. more and more people on your planet are beginning to turn to the idea of alternate forms of energy production. You can tap into the electromagnetic field of your planet, and many people on your planet are beginning to experiment with this idea more and more. But the idea is that if you keep insisting on moving in directions of power generation that have the capability of being polluting on your planet, and if that's not what the collective consciousness really, really prefers, then you're going to break down those systems one way or another. Don't wait till it gets to that point.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right.
After the Fukushima disaster,
Yes.
it seems like, more and more people in Japan getting together,
Yes.
to go to the peaceful way.
Well, that's what we're
You know.
saying. If you use it to drive you in a more positive direction, then you're using it properly,
Right. But
in
now,
alignment with your preference.
Yeah. But now,
Yes.
seems to me, I'm from Japan, but I live in Los Angeles right now.
Yes, so?
And it seems to me that the Japan, more and more people are, going to the opposite directions,
Opposite of what?
not going to the peaceful
So what do you want to do about that? It's your planet.
Right.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You're here talking about it with us.
Yeah.
So why not be one more voice in the collective
Right.
that urges and shares the idea of the benefits that could result from going in a more positive direction without, in any way, shape, or form, invalidating or laying blame on the negative side.
Right.
Just offer a new idea, offer a new perspective. In much the same way that we're sharing information with you, we have no expectation that you have to listen to anything that we say. It's up to you. This works for us. We know it can work for all of you, but it's up to you to decide to choose these directions for yourself. If you're aware that that direction can exist, then why not be one more voice? Why not become active and be one more positive, resonating voice to move in the direction you know is more positive? Why just stand around going, I don't know what to do? Of course you do. Do something.
Right. Because, for example, the present prime minister is now changing the Japan's peace constitution
All right, and so?
to change to the to have like military in Japan.
Why are you telling us? We don't live on your planet.
Yeah.
Go and talk to someone who does and see what you can do. All it takes is speaking up, and more and more and more of you that speak up and act and take action in the direction of peace, you will start helping people by example to learn that that's more and more and more of an option they can choose as well. If you don't say anything, if you don't put it out there, then you are again holding back from letting them know that there are more and more people who prefer that option.
Right.
So don't shrink away from it. Be active. Put it out there. This is what we prefer. Explore, experiment, expand. Yes?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
One moment. The second anchor point has now been established for the new entity. Are there any that wish to proceed? Or do you need more volunteers? Then proceed.
Hi, Bashar.
And
How
you
are
good day.
Good, thank you. First question about our own solar system.
Yes.
There's been stories of humanoids from Venus visiting
Not in your
Earth.
dimension, no.
So
There are beings that exist on that planet in other dimensions, but it's very different in other dimensions than it is in yours. There is no indigenous life on that planet that inhabits it as a natural life form. There are, however, extraterrestrial bases on the planet.
Okay, there's
So
stories.
sometimes certain beings may be coming from those bases, but they don't live on the planet in the open, if that's what you're asking.
Well, there's stories of humanoids from Venus visiting and interacting with certain individuals on Earth.
Yes, I
Are
know,
those
and I
true?
just told you they come from another dimension.
Okay. And
They don't come from the physical world in your dimension. You understand?
yes.
All right.
And on to UFO sightings.
Yes.
2 days ago, there was two orange-colored sphere-shaped
Yes.
UFOs sighted in Orange County, California.
Well, how appropriate.
That's right.
Who says we don't have a sense of color coordination?
And specifically in a city called San Juan Capistrano.
Yes.
Just wondering if you know the origin of those two ships or anything about them.
You have an airport nearby. I believe you call it Los Angeles International Airport. There are planes leaving that airport right now going to various destinations. Can you tell me who is aboard those airplanes?
No,
Why not?
I don't know them.
Exactly. We don't know the comings and goings of every single extraterrestrial craft or who's aboard them. Nevertheless, it is common in general that the orange spheres are a representation of an interdimensional group of beings that are to some degree involved with the transformation taking place on your planet in a different way. They are connected vibrationally to a star that you refer to, or a reality that you refer to, often called Arcturus. But I don't know specifically who was aboard those ships. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, finally, a question about the universe.
Yes. Your
the-
universe, we assume.
Yes.
All right.
The spiral pattern that is in the Nautilus shell, is the Nautilus shell
Yes.
weather patterns in the
Yes.
shape of the Milky Way galaxy?
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
All of
Wha-
those ideas of spiral and sacred geometry and phi ratios, pi ratios, Fibonacci sequences, yes, the double spiral in that sense is the way that creation expands.
oh, okay. So it's the pattern of the expansion of creation.
It's the underlying template of the pattern of expanding creation, yes. Therefore, matter, material, both light and dark, follows that double spiral pattern.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Anything else?
Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Tadeo.
Good day, Nania.
We have a little bit of time left. and
Meaning?
30 minutes.
All right.
So, how many names would you like me to draw?
4.
Cindy Redding, Trevi Bennett, Susie Batiz, and Nora, or Noor.
All right. By all means, proceed.
And until someone gets up here, we did have some questions from our Ustream
All
listeners.
right.
So here's one. Is it better to wake up with the sun or follow your own rhythm?
Many of you have natural biological rhythms that do not necessarily match the way your society typically functions. If you are truly in alignment with your real biorhythm vibration, your natural circadian clock that is true for you, and not just being resistant or lazy, then by all means follow your own natural rhythm, because that's what will allow you to rest when you truly need to rest and recharge and allow you to be active and inventive and insightful when you truly need to be active, which may be very different than what your typical society deems as rest and activity periods. So as long as you know you are truly aligned with your natural vibration, follow your natural biorhythms and cycles of day and night.
Okay, and there was a question about lucid dreaming.
Yes.
When you're lucid dreaming, you're clearly in a different reality.
Yes.
You're in a third reality
You're
a
in the
sense.
template level reality, yes.
And from that reality, you can lay the blueprint for reality creations that you would like to experience?
Yes, and again, as long as when you reinsert your focus into physical reality, you allow for some leeway in interpretation as to how the higher mind knows it actually needs to manifest, because it may not look the same, but it will carry the same resonance that you instilled in the blueprint in the template level.
And what are some of the telltale signs that you're in a lucid reality?
Do you mean when you're sleeping or when you're awake?
I would say when you're sleeping and you're dreaming, and
you will relate to what is going on around you in much the same way that you do when you're physically awake. You will not be subject to the dream in that sense. All of you know that many times when you dream, there are things that are happening that would seem, well, crazy in your physical reality, but you just accept them. You understand? You just go with the flow. When you become lucid, you will recognize that these things are not like the things that happen in your physical reality. It's paradoxical because you will actually adopt an attitude that is more similar to the attitude you have in physical reality, even though you're actually in an altered state in non-physical reality. But that's what will tell you that you're dreaming, is that you start relating to the things that are going on as if, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Do you understand?
yes.
So it will be similar to the idea of if something like that happened in your physical reality, and you would go, how did that happen? That seems to have nothing at all to do with physical reality. It'll be a similar sensation. But then paradoxically, when you start to become in control lucidly in the dream reality and start relating to the dream reality as if it is more physical, your physical reality will become more dreamlike, and you will accept more things happening in the physical reality that heretofore were only possible in the dream reality. That's the paradox. It's like you're switching places. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's utterly fascinating.
It is.
And in terms of, like, I always notice a luminosity
Yes.
factor.
Yes.
Is that common? Is
It
that
can
what
be.
most people experience?
Maybe, not necessarily.
What is the creation of that luminosity? It's almost like it's dusk, or it's...
Well, there are different forms and expressions of light in different dimensional realms. Because remember, everything is made of consciousness. In a sense, physically speaking, even if it's immaterial physicality, everything is made of a form of light, looking at it from the physical side. So you will see light express itself in a variety of ways that's indicative of the level of consciousness that you're on. On the higher levels, light will just seem to come from wherever. There won't necessarily be a single source. Does that make sense?
Yes, because in a way, wouldn't we perceive you as being luminous?
Yes, because of our higher frequency, just in the same way that someone who may have lived, linearly speaking, 300 years ago might look at you and think that you are also luminous, but you don't see that because you're all used to it, because your vibration is higher than it was in society 300 years ago. So you actually are all shining, but you don't see it because you're used to it.
So perhaps the idea is when you're in a lucid dream that you're in a higher vibrational state, and hence
Yes.
the light seems to be coming from nowhere and everywhere.
Yes, because what you're seeing is the light of the inner reflection of the higher mind mirror. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, it's as if you are in a bubble mirror reflecting back to you the light you're giving off.
It's very illuminating.
Ha ha.
So I know I have another questioner here that would like to come up. So
All right.
turn that over. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your enlightening conversation.
Shivai.
And to you, good day, Shivai. Shivai is a word in our ancient language that is representative of bringing yourself to a focal point and moving forward with absolutely no notion of anything in your way. So, Shiva.
My question is, I experienced a feeling of channeling when I was visiting Kauai,
Yes.
specifically the North Shore
All
of
right.
Wainiha, and
Yes.
an entity, I stepped into a vortex that was still, and I stepped out, and when I did, I felt myself drift away from my physical form,
Yes.
and mana entered me.
Well,
and,
so to speak.
okay, maybe a...
It doesn't really happen that way mechanically, but I understand what you're describing as your interpretive experience in physical reality, yes.
So I was not aware of what mana was at the time.
Yes.
And would it be just simply another expression of myself?
Yes, a higher expression.
Wonderful.
It doesn't mean it doesn't have its own autonomous existence as well, but what you experienced was the matching of the vibration of that level and thus expressing it through yourself as another version of yourself on a higher level.
To help me realign with what I need
Yes.
to be doing?
Yes, yes, yes. And so are you?
Not yet.
Oh, all right, why not?
I am going to.
When? I don't know.
Now.
Soon.
Exactly.
What's holding you back?
Insecurity.
About
and
what?
Fear.
About what? Fear of what? What's the worst that can happen?
I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna.
That's not the worst that can
right, because
happen.
I'm indestructible, but yet that fear is so ingrained in me.
The fear of what? Death?
Of.
You think that by being yourself you're going to die?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, the old you will.
And then the new me will be born.
Yes. So what?
Okay.
Do you understand that you're dying billions of times a second anyway?
Yes.
Because that's how you create the experience of change in space and time, is your consciousness is shifting through billions of parallel reality versions of yourself every single second. So even in the course of this conversation, you have been billions and billions of people. So what's one more?
Awesome.
There's nothing to be afraid of. You're already doing it. It's just that you're becoming aware of the fact that you're doing it. That's all.
And wanting to accelerate doing it more.
Well, it's not so much that you actually accelerate in the real mechanical sense. It's that as you become more aware of more of yourself, you understand that you're already moving at an infinite speed and you feel more of that. But remember that moving at infinite speed, being everywhere at once, also feels like you're standing perfectly still. So that's the paradoxical balance point. Make sense?
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
So, but there's nothing to be afraid of. You're doing it already. And you're just fine. Yes?
Yes, so re-examining my beliefs and what...
Watch your definitions.
Where
It's
my
only your
fears-
definitions that are creating the discomfort. Remember, please, all of you, remember, there is no such thing as an inherently difficult situation. Only your definition of the situation makes it feel difficult. If you feel that difficulty, it's because you're resisting your natural self. That's what that difficulty is. That's what that sensation is. Resistance to the natural self. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Is
thank
this
you.
helping?
Yes, thank you.
Feel a little lighter?
Yes,
Feel like dying?
totally.
All right.
All the time.
All right. You're doing it all the time anyway. There's nothing to fear. It's a natural act. You're shifting, 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 shifting. You are a bunch of shifty people.
Can I ask another question?
That was a question.
I already knew you were going to say that.
You don't have to ask. If you can ask, just ask.
Okay. Sensitivity to light.
Yeah.
I find myself when I'm on the beach or not with glasses or without a hat or
Yes.
staring at a heliotrope, that I become very sensitive
Yes.
in a sense that I can sometimes experience migraine headaches or
Again,
other
this is from resisting your own inner light.
resisting.
Stop resisting.
Okay.
Let it flow. You are constricting the avenues through which you experience yourself, and therefore whatever is a reflection of that higher vibration will be painful to you.
Totally.
So stop being painful to yourself, relax those conduits and let the light flow, and then you will match the frequency and there won't be any resistance to create the headaches. Yes?
Awesome, yes. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
You are very welcome,
I'm so blessed to speak with you. Thank you so much.
as are we with all of you.
Shivai.
Shivai,
I love that. I'm really
speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
Okay. I'm just going to let this roll because I don't know really my question, but
That's all right. You don't have
I-
to have a question.
okay. Well, I have one.
No, all right.
But I'm scared of your answer. So I've been blessed to create